Hello, and welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. Today's video, I have a mail day. I'm going to go over a little bit about buying raw cards, and also I built the first level of my card shelf, so if you stick around to the end of the video, above these cards there, I put my first row of my card shelf, and I'll explain kind of how I built it. So, the first thing, I enjoy buying raw cards, kind of the challenge to find the cards to grade. And in the background, I bought like these cards for like $75 combined, and then another $30 for grading. So I'm probably into these cards $110, right? There's no way I could buy even this card for really, I mean, without centering and the color, I mean, that's a $200 card right there, right? So I win a lot when I grade cards and I find cards to grade. However, sometimes when I buy raw cards, right, things are unexpected, right? Maybe there's a crease. Maybe there's an issue with a card that I didn't see, right? And I don't ever return cards, right? It's part of the game for me. And, you know, if somebody blatantly rips me off, yes, I'll probably return the card. However, if it's an honest mistake or like I can't really prove that there was bad intentions there, I just kind of let it slide. So, for example, here's a card that I bought and $35, right? Looked beautiful. And however, when I looked at the pictures again after I bought it, when it was coming back to me, I saw something in the images like, oops, right? So on the back, right, we have the writing here. And I guarantee that there was a Will Chamberlain fan that when he left Pennsylvania, Philadelphia there, and went to California, and then they have the hometown of Los Angeles, California. They didn't like that, so they wrote Pennsylvania right there, right? So that right there, you know, and I guarantee that I could probably sell that card close to what I bought it for, so it's not a huge loss. And I guarantee that the seller probably, the first thing they put up a lot of cards for sale, and like little writing like that, right? Especially there with all the numbers there, it kind of looks hand-drawn anyway. They probably missed it, right? And I'm not going to send that card back. I am not going to have the seller pay another $4, right? They're going to lose out like $8-10 selling that card for an honest mistake. You know, why did I buy it? I bought it because I thought it was a really good deal. And it would have been, right, if the writing wasn't on there. I could have made money off of that, right? So you win some, you lose some. And that's kind of how I deal with it. I only have returned a card once, and it was I still remember this, it's a 1981 Larry Bird, and when they had pictures of it, and then they sent it to me, and the card was not the same as the picture there, and it had paper loss in the front, and it looked like somebody with like the print marks, it looks like somebody just vomited all over the card. And I just got pissed. I just sent it back there, right? That person, I know what they had. They had like a vending box full of the 1981 tops, and they just had one picture there. They kept on selling it, and they probably sold the card, and then they had another one. They were too lazy to take a picture. They just pulled another one out of a vending box and shipped that. I had a problem with that one, right? There's a couple of other cards I should have returned, right? But you know, for me, I really don't buy from the big sellers. I guarantee if I bought from like Kit Young and they basically made a mistake on the card, or Greg Morris, I would probably return it to them. Actually, I had one from Kit Young that had a horrible, nasty, they listed the card as like near mint. It was a 1975 Topps Robin Yount, but it had like a nasty surface bubble on it. So the condition wasn't what they said. I was thinking about sending it back, but for the price I got it for, it's like, I don't care. The other thing I bought, so this was a lot of $192, and I have that. Part of the reason I brought out the 49 Bowman Warren Spahn is this is a 1949 Boston Braves set that somebody put together and somebody sold it on eBay. So like $192 all in, and it had the Warren Spahn in it. Right? And I kind of just bought it for the Warren Spahn. I'm not a set collector. However, I saw the other 15 cards. They looked okay. And so what I did is, what I'm planning on doing is I'm just going to list these other ones, sell them on eBay, and I'll be able to get the Warren Spahn for pretty cheap, right? But the Warren Spahn was disclosed as a little wrinkle, a little bit more than that. So probably $192 for the lot was probably what it should have sold for. And I'll go through the cards here. I mean, they're pretty nice. These will be beautiful cards for somebody if they're putting the set together. I'm not a set collector. By the way, the pictures were horrible from the seller. The seller had one of those cameras. If you ever saw on eBay, right, that you have the cards, and then the cards, like the camera tries to take out the background, and you see all this, it looks like the cards are all rough cut or parts of the cards are missing. It's because they use that filter on the camera. Don't do that. Just take a picture of the cards. And all these are pretty nice. They all have clean backs. Well, except for one, but I saw it from the image. But these cards, I got some wrinkles. I have wrinkles too. And I'm much younger. I was born way after 1949. But these things are like little pieces of art. They're beautiful cards. And this is also something too, is I really tell people that if you want to start to buy raw cards, you need to just buy the commons first. Buy cards like this. Touch them, feel them, look at them underneath the loop. Smell the cardboard. Feel the cardboard. If you know what these cards look, smell, feel like, you'll know a counterfeit as soon as you touch it. Right? By the way, I mean, just some of the colors and the blues, I mean, just absolutely amazing. Now, this is the only card that had writing on the back. And if you take a look here, actually, this is a 1949 Bowman traded set, right? So the person, I guess, this is what people used to do with cards, right? That if they changed teams, they didn't like it, they just would cross out the name, right? The Boston Braves, they wrote the Chicago White Sox at the top there, right? eBay 1 of 1 Bowman update set there. So all those, I'll be able to sell those on an average between probably $8 to $10 each. And so really the Warren Spahn for me is still a great deal. And I'll show you the beautiful Warren Spahn. And it does have this, you couldn't really see the wrinkle, but you can see the wrinkle there. But if you look straight on, it's really hard to kind of see it. But there's another wrinkle that goes right there. You can kind of see the wrinkle there. And this card is a 2, right? And that's the grade of it, right? So if I send this to SGC, it's going to get a 2. By the way, I'm going to send it to SGC. These cards, right, like a 1949 Bowman Warren Spahn, to me is a pretty special card, even in a 2. Right, especially that beautiful red color. And if you take a look, right, of how these SGC slabs, right, how they frame the card, right, the top loaders just don't do the same job. Now, grading itself is insane right now. PSA up their Pokemon to $19. They have a backlog again. SGC had a backlog. I think they're going to get rid of it pretty quickly. They had specials. They had like the 1970s, 80s specials, which I used. They also had a modern football special. I believe they got bombed with that as well for $12 a piece. So that $12 grading with SGC caused a little bit of a backlog. They changed their 5 to 10 days to 15 to 20 days, and it's taking a week for them to even log the cards in. But I think that's going to go down. But what do I know? I mean, grading itself, right? Whenever I think it's going to like subside, that grading's going to stop, right? I mean, we just grade more and more and more cards. Every card that comes out of pack will be graded, I guess. That's going to be the future of the hobby. And like, how are people like $20 a card for, and they're like putting in like 50-cent Pokemon cards, right, to get graded. So it hurts my head, but I stopped thinking about it. People love grading. They would rather spend $30 and buy a graded card instead of having a $5, the same as that card, in a top loader. That's what they want. And for me personally, I'd rather have a lot of these cards in top loaders, but like to sell them, like I have to grade them. And that's where the hobby is right now. Let me show you the card wall. So if you stayed all the way and went past my rant there, thank you. So what I did for grading cards, and let me kind of clear out this and kind of show you what I'm doing. A lot of the things that I saw for graded cards involved J channel. You could put it up on your wall and like put the cards flush against the wall, and the J channel would hold the top and the bottom. And I kind of decided against that. Well, first of all, J channel out here in California isn't really prevalent. We don't have like vinyl siding for houses out here. What we have, everything's stucco, right? So what I decided to do, these were really cheap on Amazon. They work out to be like $3 a piece under. They're 15-inch, and they're like these plastic displays there that you can just put up on a wall. And I wish they were more narrow, right? Because what I'm going to do, like they're 4 inches. I wish they were like 3 inches, but they don't make them. I looked. And this is what I'm going to do with these, right? I put them against the wall, and then I have my little card stands, and it works out pretty nicely, right? That you can just put these against the wall. Right. And by the way, I'm going to have to buy these like little plastic stands. Those things are like, I think I bought like 30 of them for like $5, right? So they're pretty cheap. So this is what I'm going to put against the wall, and it goes above my desk. So sticking out 4 inches doesn't really bother me because I'm not walking like towards the wall there. Actually, if anything, it's going to be better because I'm going to be like an inch or two closer to my cards, right? So I'll show you what I did. I put my Hank Aaron's up on the wall there, and this is the first row, right? And so go all the way back, and my last Hank Aaron wouldn't fit on there. I was going to take one of my 1955s off, but I'm going to get more Hank Aaron's, right? Because I got to complete the whole run. So what I'm going to do is like I'm going to take that row, and then I'm going to put another shelf up there, and I'm going to keep on going pretty close to where the ceiling is. I should be able to get like 5, 6, 7 rows up, but I also want, right, the ability to change them out. So I'm going to put like a little, like I'm going to make sure that like cards like this will be able to fit on the shelves. So there'll be like a little bit of a space above it, right? So kind of, this is a very common like tall boy size. So in case if I want to put some tall boys there, I don't get a lot of light into my office. So I don't think I have to worry about like any UV protection on these. My office is pretty dark. But let me know in the comments below if you have ever had any issues with like sun damage on cards. I just leave cards out all the time. Haven't noticed anything whatsoever. And I didn't tell my wife I was doing this, so I put up the first row. And so I'll see what she says. My office is shared with the bedroom. So it's just like a huge bedroom. And then there's kind of like a little archway goes into the office. And I'll see if she says anything. If she does say anything, like I don't like it, I'm like, well, sorry, it's already up. I can't take it back down. It's going to damage the wall. So let me know how you think that looks. I'm going to just go for it anyway. If it looks hideous, I can always take it down. But I'm going to probably put about 6 rows up and kind of enjoy my cards a little bit more. And definitely have so many cards. I'm just trying to condense my collection just a little bit. I will never put my autograph cards on the wall. Like the fading, I don't want to deal with that. So those cards I just keep in cases, and then I'll take those out when I want to look at them or when I make my own slabs for them. But I am, like, even with my autograph collection there, once those big 4 cases that I showed off before, once they're filled, like, I got to get rid of cards. I can't. That's my limit of how many graded cards or the Mag Pro, the Zion Mag Pros that I can have. They got to fit in those 4 cases. So let me know in the comments if you display your cards and like what type of shelving unit do you have? Do you have like the cases or kind of like the wooden cabinets? And I do want to know, like, have you seen any fading on your cards? So again, as always, have a great day and keep on collecting.